let me share the link then, if it's on.
Let me see if it's on yet. Hang on, it's gonna take a second. Yeah, it's on my page. Here, let me just tag you.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna tag you. Or are you gonna share it?
I'm gonna share it, yeah. I think I'm gonna share it on the...
All right. Okay. Another day. Another day on the front line of the apocalypse, the great unveiling. You look pretty today.
I do? Thank you. You always tell me that. You're very kind. You're very kind. Let me see. Okay, I think I did it.
You find it?
Yeah, I must have done it.
Wait, there's something I wanted to look at here. Yeah. So.
Okay.
We're on Zoom. Oh. We're on Zoom, so the only comments we can see are going to be on my page. I'm going to pull them up on my page. Let's see.
Okay.
All right, we got about 35 people in the house. Let's give it about another 30 seconds. And let me pull this up. Boom.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I had a couple of interesting things that came into my field, which I wanted to ask you about. So, welcome back, sister.
Nice to see you again. Hello, everybody.
Yeah. So one of the things that I saw was from our sister from Norway, Kristen Van Beset. I think I said that right. She's been on the show about 2 or 3 times. Need to get her on again. She is, let me just so I can give her a plug, since I'm going to use her words. She is on YouTube under Heart of Light. And she's under Facebook. She has a page, Heart of Light. And her name is Kristen Van Beset, Vambeset. Anyway, so she's been putting out, she came on at the end of last year, and she was told, like a lot of you, she was told she needed to start getting out there and sharing her transmissions. And so she's been doing videos on YouTube and Facebook, sharing them to the Soulogy group. And I didn't actually look at this, watch this video, but what I did do was I read what she said, and it really resonated. And I wanted to ask you about this one and a message I got on the website last night. So she says, I have been shown that we have entered a period of great transformation, lasting from now till June. In this period, we will experience rapid changes. If we resist changes in our lives, we make this period challenging for ourselves. Being present, not holding back, or standing in our own way is the best advice as we are shifting. So I thought that was interesting because it lines up with, Franco's stuff, Jason Estes, his timeline in terms of, what's happening right now and for what period of time. And then, so I read that, and then I read this from a brother. I won't mention the name. I don't know who he is. I've never heard from him before. He says, the subject is the shift. He says, the shift requires trials and assessments. Thank you for your courage to come on when you're not feeling it. It's my turn right now. I don't know what that means, but this is the part that stood out. The teams are changing. They are going to have to be more fluid. There's a lot of mixing and moving around. Something about the shadow forces need to be considered. So the 2 things that I got out of that were, number 1, test. You hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the one in what she wrote, the part that kind of jumped out was about experiencing rapid changes. And to me, that feels like the changes that we're faced with by our new awareness, our expanded awareness, and the choices we make moment by moment as a result of this newfound awareness. In other words, you have this awareness, now put it to use. It's kind of what I got out of that. And then that last part from the guy, from the brother, where he was saying, wherever that is, and he was
He said
saying,
this, the shadow forces. I
said,
didn't get that part.
he said well, in the way he said it, I could tell he was getting it channeled because he has broken English too. But he said something about the shadow forces need to be considered. And so when I read hers and then I read his, I was like, oh. And to me, it's like the shadow forces, that may not be the way to say it or the way I'm feeling it. It was more like the darkness in ourselves or the shadows in ourselves need to be considered. They need to be included totally 100% and integrated into our being and our essence, loved just like the light. So those are the two things I got this morning. I don't know. I thought that'd be there's never a coincidence. So I thought it'd be a good idea to see what you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. Well, if you're asking me to comment or share
absolutely.
what I feel on what you shared, is I really felt on the equinox that a deeper inner portal opened. And during the meditation we had with the group on that day, it was announced to us, this information was given, that a deeper part of ourselves that we didn't have access before is opening up. And we received many blessings and alignments and activations to actually make it through this, because these are parts of ourselves that we haven't been in contact for ages and ages. So they carry a lot of shadow and of course light, but it is something different. It's like a part of the self that you never had communion with before. It was always there, but you didn't really grasp it. You never really communicated with this part.
Yeah.
And it is a part of the self. And it's always been there, but never really touched. So after the day of the equinox, I personally started feeling heavier and heavier and tired, very tired. And I received some new information about me. Things came up in my awareness, parts of my heart mostly, that I didn't know that were there. They were hidden from me. And I'm still processing all this. And I guess each one of us will be processing these parts, these forgotten parts, in their own way, in their own time. But it's getting harder and harder in a way, but we're used to it.
What do you mean it's getting harder and harder?
I mean, there are days that I don't know, this word came out of my mouth as that it is challenging. It gets really challenging, because it really affects the physical body. It's really, really strong on the body. So we need a lot of rest. I personally need a lot of rest, a lot of water, and a lot of communication with my inner self. And also nature, which we're not allowed actually to be at now. We're still in quarantine.
Oh, you're in quarantine. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm with you on that. I had to go down to the river last night for about half an hour and just sit with the stars and the wind and the water and the animals.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. Trish Causey, our sister, she's been on. She just said, yes, I have been emotionally purging and feeling so heavy as the density comes up. I had hoped the equinox would make things lighter. She says,
Well, we're going to get there.
Soon, I hope.
We're going to get there because it was exactly that.
Yeah.
It was exactly that. But to get there, we need to go through the heaviness. But before the equinox, I really felt very calm and peaceful. After the portal of the equinox opened, things changed. And there were many messages that came through during the equinox. The higher realms are opening up and the skies are changing. This was the message that we received from the Pearl Keepers. And we are coming in contact with the pure elements. It is through the pure elements that we will be healed. All elements in their pure expression. Yeah. And mostly water. This time, water was very present. We received healing through the pure water, a very special water of the holy mountains that holds properties, healing properties that are difficult for us to grasp. Forgotten healing properties of the water. Yeah. Really sacred, really beautiful.
You know, yesterday.
So the more we receive healing.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
No, I was going to say yesterday was International Water Day.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you know that. Somebody told me that yesterday on the show. Michelle Anderson, go ahead.
I was just saying that, you know, the more the healing and the change arrives on the physical body, the more intense it gets. Maybe this is why I said it's getting harder and harder, because it is about the physical body, the more dense part of the cells. And I remember our first conversation, first one. It was maybe 2.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I remember I shared with you back then that I had the message that this big vehicle of the matrix had fallen, and now the whole thing would move to the physical world. We would actually experience changes in our physical 3D lives, and we're getting there. It's getting really, 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 really to the center of this.
Yeah. Yes, I hear what you said about the skies change. Gingy Reynolds says a huge stargate opened! ! So anything not in alignment with the higher octave will feel heavy and dense in the physical body. And Michael Abramson, our brother, said same thing you did. He said, I have been guided to dive deep into the elements and the natural healing properties that they give us. So, you know, this is another thing that's happening. Everybody's intel is starting to be more than just similar and familiar. Yeah. It's starting to be the same thing. You know, I haven't had the, I haven't had the physical, stuff going on with me. But I have been drinking a lot of water. I'm drinking, at least 6 or 8 bottles of water a day. I've had a couple of days that were, I felt the energy come in. It was probably 10 days before, before the equinox. I have the luxury with Morgan because she usually gets stuff early. So this came in about 10 days before the equinox. And I know the exact moment it came in. And I had a couple of days where, I just had to, I think Sunday, you said the equinox. I think I was in bed all day. But overall, I don't really get it like maybe some of you, like you, Morgan, you know, and some of these people are making the comments in terms of like the you know, the perfect articulation, the description of it. But what I do get is two things, what you said. One is the sky has changed, the higher octaves are available, like Jinjin said, and at the same time, what does that look like here at the human is the hero level? It looks like all that shadow and darkness is coming up. And I think for everybody, that's probably different for everybody. You know how there's a lot of people put out, not a lot, but people put out like collective intel, like this is what's happening right now. I think to me that this period right now, it's like, you know, whatever you have with these higher octaves being open, like Jinjin said, and you're not in alignment with, or what part of you is not in alignment with it, is going to be that very dense part that you're talking about. And yeah, it'll show up in the body, and it'll show up with emotional purging, like Trish said, and whatever, by whatever means it has to, I guess.
Yeah, you see, the reality we were in, the 3D reality, wasn't in alignment with what we're opening to. So every part of ourselves, it's gonna go through purification. Nothing of the 3D world was in alignment of the energies that we are receiving in our bodies. And no element of the 3D world we were used to have anything to do with the pure elements that are coming in to heal us. We are actually slowly, step by step, receiving the pure elements in our bodies, slowly, so that we can align with them. This is why I said this water that we were shown and we received healing from on the equinox was something very different. Was something very out of this world. And this is where we're heading at this kind of purity, at this kind of, yeah, I don't know if I can find words about this water. And the message was that the waters in the sky are changing. So we were advised to look at the sky, look at the spirit, look at spirit, because the waters in the sky are changing. And they said, not necessarily everybody will see this. Not everybody will be able to actually witness and feel the changes in the sky and the waters of the sky, the sacred waters. And yes, our shadows are coming up, but I also feel that all these plans, all these dark agendas that have been running by different governments, I think they will also be more intense and stronger now, more apparent.
So what you're saying, let me see, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. So are you saying that those that have been in control with these 3D programs are going to get louder, or that they're going to get louder?
No, they're going to get louder. This is what I'm getting as a message. Okay. Yes, they're going to get louder because they do not want people to align with what is really happening. They're hijacking. They're trying to hijack the great reset of Mother Earth. This is why they're trying to say, oh, we're bringing the great reset to you. To us. So they're hijacking. Yes, they're hijacking what is really happening. And people who are not aware of it, you know, they've never heard about the opening of the portals, the reset of Mother Earth. They don't know anything about this. The only thing that they hear is the great reset, the great financial reset. So they're hijacking the words, they're hijacking what is really happening. And they're using all this thing with COVID and other things to get the attention away from what is really happening. So everybody is focused on this, what is running on 3D, and most of people are missing what is really happening. And I'm reading, you know, I'm reading the newspapers, I'm reading pages on Facebook with many bright people, and they're only focused on that. They're only focused on what's happening, what's coming from the governments. So I guess, yeah, already Germany, England announced today that they're going in a very hard lockdown. UK said that they're not allowing people to travel abroad. And Germany, they said even the supermarkets are going to be closed. These are new things. And yeah, I feel it's going to get harder. But also on January, I remember back on January, the message that I received was that between mid-March and end of April, these plans, these dark plans, will receive a great hit, which means something will happen that will reveal more of the truth. And that was, the period was mid-March to end of April. So in this, we are in this. We are in this.
So we can expect to, and it would make sense if this is the apocalypse, the great unveiling that's been prophesized, you know, the cyclical reset of the universal through an ascension process. And we all have personally experienced, you know, the unveiling within ourselves as we learn more and more about our beautiful shadows. You would have to believe, as within without, that, you know, that which is bigger than all of us and the controllers and all of us put together is going to, you know, generate the same type of energetic pressure and therefore revelation and ultimately transformation onto the world stage as well.
Yes. Are you suggesting that everybody will see the truth?
I don't know. You know, I don't really usually talk about this, but like I've had, you know, my share of lucid dreams over the years, and some of them very vivid. And I always understood when I was viewing a collapsed timeline. And I could give you several examples, but I'm not. But what I will tell you is that, and this goes back a few years, there's been an evolution of these timelines collapsing. And I remember, you know, going back, I was about when I met Morgan, 2015. I remember the intensity of the program in the world and the level of lockdown, right? It was very much like the, what is it called? The Hunger Games. And I remember some instances, and then I remember getting up and understanding that timeline was collapsed. And then I had a few more with Morgan, and so what I'm saying is that when I like tapped into this in the last couple of days, because I think a lot of people have been doing that, as I was reassessing things like what's possible, what are you open to, what can happen, almost like I'm having a conversation in a council with, you know, my higher self and other higher selves. And basically it's wide open. So am I saying that something's going to be revealed that the whole world will know? I think it's entirely within the realm of possibility.
With this I agree. Yes, with this I totally agree. But my question was, do you believe that everybody will see the truth?
I don't know. I think it's within the realm of possibility because, and I'm not saying it's going to happen right now. I don't know if it'll happen later, now, whatever. But what I am saying is that there's solid evidence, and even if it's, and I can't believe it's just in these circles, there's solid evidence that, you know, even if it's a very small minority, there's solid evidence that people have been dealing with their shadows. They've been, you know, embracing their shadows. So as a result, you know, we're getting what you were talking about. We're getting lighter. And the reason for this is because like you said, it's just going to keep coming. And like you said earlier,
definitely.
you said
it's gonna I believe, to tell you the truth, that it's going to happen. I believe we're going to have some kind of an event. I have no idea what it could be, but I believe we're going to have some kind of event or events that will be witnessed by everyone, but not interpreted the same way by everyone.
I see. Yeah, I see what you mean.
So this is why I said I believe they're hijacking. They're trying to hijack what is really happening. So they're already trying to convince a lot of people that they are the ones who are trying for their security and their safety.
Right.
So when a big event happens, even if it's an event that is coming from the natural system, right, from Earth, again, there might be a distorted explanation of it through the media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, people will be challenged to see what is really happening. So people who have not connected with their inner hearts, their inner truth, and they're giving their power to the media or the government or whatever, these people, they might be deceived,
right,
or misleaded in a way.
Do you think it's going to be something, I'm not saying this is what it's going to be, but do you think it's going to be something of the same frequency and shock of either a legitimate or illegitimate spaceship landing, ET contact, that type of thing?
So I can share something that I witnessed back in 2006, which I have no idea if this is going to play out, but this is something that has stayed with me as an information. So in a vision I had, at the time of a great upset, of an event of revelation, I witnessed in the vision spaceships landing on Earth and telling everyone that you need to come with us so that you can be saved, because Earth is going through turbulence. So we will take you, and when this stops, we will bring you back. This is what they were saying. So many people, I saw the picture of people entering the spaceships, right? And I remember looking at this picture, and I could hear a voice in my coming through my inner self saying, oh my God, those people, whoever goes on those spaceships, they're gone forever. They're gone forever. And basically, in my vision, these people were going to get used as food. So I remember this vision, and I keep it, maybe this will happen. Maybe it's not going to happen. Nobody knows, but it's possible.
I'm with you.
Spaceships, this is another hijacking,
Well, then here's the thing, and this is where I've been the last couple of days when I've been checking around in this on this subject matter. First of all, if spaceships land, unless my whole body lights up and I know that I'm supposed to get on the ship, I'm not getting on the ship. I'm from Earth, and I'm going to go down and go up and go wherever the Earth goes. And the other thing is what you just brought up is, look, there's a strong galactic impression in our experience. It's getting stronger every day. Okay. So it's inevitable that it will become part of our physical narrative. The question is, where does the story stop, and where does the 0 point field, the dimension, the dimension that we exist in, where the 0 point field is pure and whole. In other words, is the story of the ETs and the star family and our connection to it, is it part of the story? Are we above that? And if we're above that, we're to, in my opinion, we're to embody all of that which we've been given from these higher dimensions and higher aspects. So I just don't think that that the the story at that level is the end of the story, or the end of us, or the limitation of us. Somebody just put up another one here, Gayatri. She said, my guide said it has to be intense. It no longer can be adjusted at our pace. We need to get most of the work done before March is over.
We're doing it. We're doing it. Yeah. But Todd, I don't believe we are on a planet. I've shared this with you before. I don't believe we are on a planet floating in space. I believe we are in a multidimensional plane of existence with different realms. In those realms, there are entities that function for their own self-service.
Right.
And there are other realms where is the service of all. So I personally don't think I need a spaceship to save me. But it's actually like the stories with the vaccines. Again, I have an inner guidance not to take the vaccine. And I've been sharing this with people, but other people are they feel very safe to do the vaccine, you see? Mm. So these are two different inner guidances.
Right.
It is the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
And
so you can get on the spaceship or not get on the spaceship. They're both the right decision. You might get eaten, you might not get eaten, but can a soul get eaten?
You might go through your second birth or your second death.
Yeah.
Permanent birth or your permanent death. It is a choice. It is a choice.
I like your...
It is allowed. It is allowed by the system. It is allowed. I'm sorry. It sounds really cruel, but it is how it is.
Yeah. When you say allowed by the system, what system?
The program we're in.
Yeah.
Multidimensional program we are.
Yeah.
And we now on the equinox, we say, okay, the higher realms are now opening. Okay. Right. What about the lower realms? The beings from the lower realms, right? They have been trying to break through in our realm for ages. They were sealed there. They could not get. They're trying through the underground. They're trying by air. They are trying. And they're trying to find the perfect plan to make it when the portals and the gates are open, okay? And it is a game. It is a multidimensional game. They haven't achieved it yet, but they're trying.
Okay. So, and this is one of the reasons I like to listen to Franco's interpretation, because he describes it all like you do. Your comment about, not being on a planet, I agree with that. At certain levels, it appears that way, and I guess is that way, but it is a hologram. And the operating system is the dimension.
The overlayer is a hologram, yes.
Yeah.
This is what
what you said about the dark energies as well. Okay. I just want to make a quick
There are beings in the lower realms.
Yeah.
They're there. All the realms for me are physical. There might be of a different physicality as we understand, but they're physical. On the equinox, we were taken by our great mothers and grandmothers of true life. We were taken high above the North Pole to the holy mountains. These places, these mountains are physical. They are there. And they took us in a volcano crater. And they said, this is where Earth was born from. this lava that the volcano
This is weird.
created Earth.
This
And
is weird.
this was high above the North Pole,
Okay.
above Earth.
Yeah.
And it was physical.
Yeah.
So we are in, for me, okay, I'm sharing my experiences. Maybe other people have a different experience, but I see physicality in the other realms. Maybe we are not able to see them, but for me, they're there. The whole mythology and all ancient myths are speaking about these realms.
Yeah.
We have been, isolated by these realms. And now the time has come for the portals to open. We remember because we hold aspects of ourselves in these other realms. We have memory in our DNA of this.
Yeah. And if
The game is big.
And that's it's a little bit strange. You're talking about lava, and you when you started saying that, I was dreaming about lava last night, and it was coming off of the mountain. It was like I was standing on the beach, and I wasn't at the top. I was standing on the beach, and I was watching the lava come down into the sea, right? And I was watching it form. Like it harden, even under the water.
So
right?
it was water and fire together, right?
Water and fire together, yeah.
Again, mother and father, the divine plasma, water and fire together.
And so another thing on what you said about the lower realms, okay, and I think I need to mention this, okay, so I think it was the equinox. So the equinox was in the morning here. So that night I built a fire. And I connected like I really hadn't connected in a long time. And I know there was a reason for that because there was more open, right? And so when I moved here, there's a portal. There's more than one, but there's this one portal. It's an interdimensional portal. And I recognized it as soon as I got here. And I've spent a lot of time in the underworld. So it's a very familiar thing to me. But this was interdimensional, so it included anything and everything. But in a major way, there was a lot of representation by these energies that you're talking about, and that wanted to enter this realm. So I was sitting there by the fire, and it said, "Go now in your, energetically. You don't have to do it physically, but I did to a degree. Go and clear the area around the portal." And almost like you're presenting something and preparing your house for company or preparing a dinner table. It was out of honor and respect, and I understood it. So it was basically clear this perimeter around this portal. Then I sat down and I watched the portal explode, right? Like all this energy came out of the portal, and it was pink. And it looked like goo, right? It looked like plasma, waterish, and it came out, and it was a very physical thing. There wasn't like a lot of light or anything like that, like you see, when you're in the ethers. So what happened was it came out, it was pink and almost kind of putrid and ugly. And then they said to me, or I understood, or I was part of whatever, said, now transform this into the golden white light. And I watched it happen. And I just wanted to mention that before I made this comment, because it might be important. I don't know, or whatever. So if we're truly here as eternal souls that have made a free will choice to come down and expand on behalf of ourselves and the universal, a playground, a university, whatever you want to call it, then it would make total sense to me that we would have the opportunity not just to bring in the light, but to bring in the shadow as well. Because how can you build a 0 point if you only have elements from one side of the 0 point? You know what I mean? So
yes, I understand what you're saying. This is the technology we're in. This is the true of life, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This is a technology. This is for the beings, the heavenly children, which decided to go through this journey. That's not true life, but for me, this is not a condition of true life, okay? In true life, I don't feel there is a good and evil presence in the way we know it here.
Yeah, this is let me ask you this way. So we have these multidimensional aspects. The galactic seem to be very close to us, our galactic aspects. Do you think that it was one of our aspects that created this game, that created this technology and said, hey, we have a way to expand the soul, to challenge you, to grow, whatever it is? Do you think that and maybe there is one aspect that's, I'm saying, within the realm of the oversoul, within the realm of the monad, but like an aspect where we all congregated and said, hey, let's go do this?
Okay, this is a difficult question, but I have an answer, but okay, I will share it. Okay. I've seen beings saying, including me, from a higher level saying, let's go and play this game. I've seen beings betting on us, you know, like the games in the Colosseum. I've seen many things on higher levels, but to my understanding, this system, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, was a creation of the fallen god, Aldebaoth. The myth, the story, the ancient story says that he was born only by the Divine Mother without the consent of the Divine Father. And he was born, yes, a divine being, but a incomplete one. Yeah. And this story for me resonates a lot. And he decided to go on with this creation that was actually an abandoned creation. And he was advised not to go on with this creation, not to actually go and do it, but he wanted to go and do it. And at the beginning, for me, because I have memories of this, he presented, okay, I say he because it's being, you know, okay, let's say he's a he. He presented this creation as a very interesting one, as a very happy, creative one to many heavenly children. I think I've mentioned this before with you in the show. We had mostly heavenly children falling, not heavenly elders. He presented a really interesting creation. And at the beginning, he presented a kind of heavenly creation. And this heavenly creation is what we know of the heaven. Right. And the heavenly children were invited to play in this playground. And after he got the heavenly children to come in this playground, the second falling happened from the Garden of Eden. So the Garden of Eden was the first stage of this creation, of the tree of good and evil. Right. We had already fallen when we were in the Garden of Eden, to my view, okay? And right. From what I have worked with other people and their memories, you know, what they're bringing into the sessions. So we had our second falling from the Garden of Eden. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at what we're experiencing as a construct of created by ourselves, by our brothers and sisters. I mean, to look at it in a tech kind of way, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It doesn't change our soul. You know what I mean? I mean, and so, yeah, I just wonder, like,
not judging it in any way.
No.
I'm not judging it in any way, but it is said that the beings who created it, along with the gods who are residing in these realms, the gods that we know of, are their destiny has been decided by true creation.
Yeah.
It is said that it's been done like that. So I really don't have, I don't know.
Well, no, this is a good conversation. We haven't had a conversation like this on this show to this extent. Do you think that, okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that, okay, let me put it this way. Do you think that any of us came here against our will?
No, this is what I said. We were presented with a great
I got you. Okay.
A good one.
Yeah, it is a good one.
We were deceived into. Nobody told us that the next step would be more and more of separation and more of.
Okay, so I'm with you. I'm totally with you, and that follows Franco's story, you know, of the history, and a couple other people I know that talk about how just a few different words, but I mean it's basically the same thing. And I remember when Morgan came the first time in 2017, and she was here about 2 days, and the mother goddess energy jumped into her literally. And she said at that time it had never happened to her before. Her whole voice changed, her posture changed. And so the mother goddess was telling me something, but it really didn't, it applied to me, but it applied to all of us. And what she said was, she said, I think, thank you for coming. You knew it was going to be, let's just say, challenging, right? But you didn't know it was going to be like this. And she didn't use the word deceive, but it felt like you were kind of deceived. You know what I mean? So, and there was two legs to it, because she said you knew you were getting into this, but you didn't know it was going to be this, right? And I think
we knew. Yeah. Yes, exactly. We knew of a different story.
Yeah.
And I had some clients also and some friends during the sessions, still their inner being. This is very interesting, Todd. This is very interesting. So I had one friend, and during the session, he was, in a kind of semi-hypnotized in a way, not by me, but he had gone in this mode. And he said, you know what? He said, this thing, this plan, that this world, this experiment that we were introduced to and suggested, if we made it, it would be amazing.
Made it as in what? Like made it through
like
it?
If we did this experiment,
okay, gotcha.
He said it would be amazing. It would change the whole universe. It was actually a bright idea.
Yeah.
But his being hadn't realized that this actually took place, and he is in it.
Oh, he didn't know. He didn't know.
No, his being was saying, oh my God, this was just a brilliant plan. And if we were allowed to go on with it, it would be an amazing experience. It would change the universe. But his being wasn't aware that he was already in this experiment. And this is very interesting.
That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Doesn't that feel familiar to you? Does it feel familiar to you? I mean, have you ever felt like that? You know what I mean?
Not anymore. I'm quite aware of certain things, but yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. It's like when you start waking up. Yes.
You're like, wait a minute. Yeah, and I think everybody has. I mean, maybe it was with their wake-up experiences. Maybe it was before. But I remember 10 years ago when I woke up and I hit the streets, and you know, like a lot of us, all this trauma and angst and emotion and bad energy, you know. But there was always this thing there that I understood, like I'd never had before, that, you know, I'm in this body, walking this earth, and I'm not from here. It's not even real, kind of thing.
Yes, we get these understandings and realizations once the process of awakening has happened. But this case was a person who hasn't been awakened, but he reads this information from within, but he hadn't realized that he was already in this experiment.
Wow.
That he was already witnessing this experiment that he was admiring so much.
Isn't that something?
And then I told him, I said to him, do you realize you're in it? And I don't think he realized. He said, really? Like, what do you mean? I said, do you realize you are in it. This experiment actually happened. And it wasn't like we were promised.
You know, the other thing is too, you're talking about, kind of talking about this timeline. This game, or this phase of the game on Earth, I think we could go back about 10,000 years, right? Like after Atlantis, when the flood came, right? Because the flood's in all the history books, all the sacred text. And it's interesting.
Yeah, the water's above.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Where did the water come from, right?
I can share something from this equinox that we witnessed.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So once we reached that place of the holy mountains above earth, and after we did certain processes and adjustments, we were asked to look up. And what we witnessed was a great ocean of water. And there were many whales, big whales swimming. And they were so happy that we could see them. They said, they are our mothers and grandmothers. And they said that those who are ready, they can see the waters above. They can see the great ocean above. And they said also that there is a great barrier that is separating us from this ocean. And they said that when we are ready, also they said, please share with all your brothers and your sisters that all the true children of true life are safe and everything is well. They said, please share this with all your brothers and sisters. And then they said that we are so happy you can see us again. And when the day comes, when you're ready, you will be able to break through the barrier and you will be able to return to us. Yeah. And there's a whole other world. There's a whole other world outside of this system.
I know. We're just a little upside down fishbowl in a little nook and cranny in the corner of the multiverse.
The flags were by this water. Those operating the system, they can use this water. They have used this water. I also saw a dream of a volcano 2 nights ago.
Did you really?
Yes, in my dream, I was in the island of Mykonos here in Greece, which is a very, very dear place of mine. And, in the ancient days, Mykonos was a place of the divine female. And Santorini, the island of Santorini, was the place of the divine female. So if you go to Mykonos, the energy is really smooth and nice, and it attracts a lot of people, Mykonos. And Santorini has the volcano. It's the lava, it's the fire. So anyway, in my dream, I was on the island of Mykonos, and I was in the water. I was taking my mother and some relatives to see the beautiful beaches, and then suddenly the water started getting warm, and then fire came out of the water, and then there was a volcano eruption. So yeah, water and fire is really, really, as elements, are really activated in our inner worlds right now.
Yeah. Well, fire. The fire is huge right now.
Yes.
So, and then here was a comment. You brought up the island, which it was the divine feminine. All right.
Mykonos.
So. Yeah, and so Trish said the original separation between twin flames was super painful and is still causing resentment between divine feminine and divine masculine. And she goes on to talk about a dream, but Well, what I wanted to point out about, or bring up about what she's saying is, because you talked about creation, you talked about the second phase, the second fall was Eden, Garden of Eden. There is a lot of, I guess you would say biblical / mythical personalities and stories that are spread across all religions and civilizations. There's a lot of similarities. But with that in mind, how it seems like the divine feminine, divine masculine relationship, sacred union, so on and so on and so on, has a really big part in this game. Can you comment on that?
Yeah. I have gone back to the moment when I was separated from my twin flame, and it was the most horrific, painful experience ever. And in our subconscious, humanity has been carrying this painful, there are no words to actually explain this separation, the pain, the sorrow. There are no words to explain this, but now, it's restoration time. It's celebration time. We've gone through that. And that was, yes, after the Great Deception, after. So, yeah, now we are in the phase of restoration and rejoicing.
Well, let me reset my camera. When we get through this game, we're either going to be really happy with whoever our brothers and sisters that created or came up with it, or we're going to be kicking their ass. Damn, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. You see, with the separation of the twin flames, there was a great, very devilish plan that was on. The female flames. Actually, the male flames got, to my view, not imprisoned, but they were taken in a way. And then the female flames were presented with fake male flames, okay? And I don't know how this happened exactly, but this is the memory. So many female flames, they got deceived by fake male flames. And then another story began. And we're also, and this has been actually mirrored to our also world relationship, these world relationships. And many females thinking that they are with their true twin flames, but it's not true. And of course, okay, males too. But it's usually many women saying, I thought he was my true flame, but he's not. Right. For me, this is not the plane. This is not the plane of twin flames meeting. It's difficult for twin flames to meet here, but at the end of times, we will meet again. When is that? I don't know. This is how I feel. At least for me, this is the information I've been getting, that once the portals are open, once we are ready for the next step, then is that we're going to meet our true flames. Of course, there are exceptions, okay? I'm not saying this is for everyone, but this is for the most of us.
But that relationship seems to be a big part of this experience, And when I say the relationship, I mean in all ways, like within myself, within yourself, the masculine and the feminine within yourself, your relationship with Father God and Mother Universe, in an equal fashion.
Yeah. These couples are, universal creators. And we are also being educated to become universal creators and to create worlds that are eternal and not worlds that are,
And maybe that's what I was going to bring up earlier. Like say you create something, you invent something, and it doesn't have to be like a robot. It could be a whatever. It could be a printer or a laptop, or it could be a statue of Anubis, right? And this has a consciousness. I mean, this is my opinion. This has a consciousness. This has the same God element that we have. And so the potential of this to come into awareness and then to start to utilize that awareness to hit the path that we are on, which is to become pure creators, conscious creators that create eternal things, eternal things. So maybe the earth,
Ideally.
maybe the earth's hologram creation, whatever, is being given the opportunity to become an eternal existence. But we got to do the work. Or maybe it's just going to end and be a finite existence, and we try
Yes,
again.
I think this is it. I think it has been given time and space.
Yeah.
Specific time and space. This is not an eternal creation.
Right.
This is my view.
No, I'm open.
It's a big thing to become a creator of eternal life. Mm-hmm. It's I don't know, but it feels to me a big thing.
Yeah.
There's need to be true unconditional love there.
Yeah.
For whatever comes up.
That's really what it comes down to.
This is why it was allowed, you see. Even though this being was advised not to go on with his plan, he wasn't denied with his creation by true creation. You know what I mean? It is all allowed by true creation. There's only love there.
Go do what you want to do, right? It's kind of like your mother telling you, hey, go do what you want to do. You got to live with it. Yeah,
exactly. You need to take the responsibility and the results of it.
Yeah. So I'm so happy that we got to spend some time together this morning. We got 120 people in the house. We're going to have William.
Hello, everybody.
We're going to have William Melchizedek on in 5 minutes. So this show was 30 minutes late because Todd needed 30 more minutes laying down. You asked me how I was doing. One of the things that I've become comfortable with is if I'm not ready to go on, I'm not going on. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm going to send a note to my sister. And I told William, can we come on 15 minutes late? Because, it's, and I don't need to explain, you know what I mean? I don't need to justify anything. Yeah. So I'm not saying it for this example.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about the energetics behind it, which I think is what a lot of people are doing now. They're just saying no. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I agree with you. And what you're doing, Todd, it takes a lot of energy, and I totally respect that. And I mean, you're amazing.
Well,
what's really funny?
Something's going on, and again, it's not about me.
No, I know. I'm just saying what you're doing.
But I will tell you this. I'll tell you this. Up until November, at the latest December, right? Like I want to say 11/11 or 12/12, up around that point, it was challenging at times, but it wasn't a big deal. I could jump up 5 minutes. Morgan will tell you 5 minutes before the show, be half asleep, and do my hair and jump on. But since then, it's not that way. And I don't think that's about me. I think that's about the collective energy that's being impressed upon
it. Has changed. It has changed. And it's funny you say this because I feel many days that I don't want to do anything. And before we got on, I was on Facebook and I saw this really funny quote. It said that today I plan on being as useless as the gene les. And I said, that's exactly how I felt today.
Yeah.
I want to do nothing.
That's a great thing. Who says that we can't, kick back? In fact, I don't think we're being given much of a choice. And that's why, when you ask me about, God, we could talk forever, but when you ask me about, do you think there's going to be a big event thing? Absolutely. The possibility is there. There's no doubt about it. Sure feels like something is more and more imminent. But the other thing is, you can't tell me that everyone in the world's not feeling this energy in some way.
They are totally, but they're interpreting it in a different way.
I got you. Yeah, I got
This is all about, you know, how you see, and your language, your programming is
Right.
taking the information in the body, and then it goes through the computer of your body, and it brings out a result, you know, a conclusion. What's the conclusion?
A quantum creation, right?
Yes, it depends on your programming.
Yeah. So this would be, you know, evidence of we're being trained to become creators of universes, of planets, of whatever.
Yes.
And so,
But not to deceive our brothers and sisters.
No. And this is what I said, you know, it comes down to what you said, the unconditional love, because that's a full-time, 100% all the time thing. Just because you're allowing your human aspect to control things doesn't mean it's okay to say, well, I'm only human. You know, I'm not going to be unconditional love in this situation or this moment. I'm just going to be and say that I am all the time and be it when I want to, you know. So this is the kind of responsibility that comes with being given the opportunity to create an eternal creation, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
And maybe the universe learned this by past experience when it gave someone or something the ability to do it, and we ended up with something like this, like you were saying. Like you were saying.
It's true. And to give yourself this green light, to listen to your needs and follow your true needs. Usually, I can speak for myself, I reach that place of allowing myself to be as I wish to be after I lost a lot. So this is a time actually that many people are losing a lot of things. They're losing what they thought it was there for certain. So that means a lot of people will also give the green light to themselves to just follow their heart and their true needs.
Right.
Because we're going through many deaths.
Yeah.
And this is a liberation process. It's only positive.
Well,
now, yeah.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. And my last comment is, let's rip the fucking Band-Aid off. If you have money, it's going to be taken away. If you have this, it's going to be taken away. If you have that, it's taken away. We all want to get there, and the way to get there is to purify ourselves in these sacred fires, and you know.
And let's be aware of the saviors, because this is the main thing. Let us be aware of the saviors, whoever they are, however they present themselves with their own solutions. Let's be aware of those.
That was a good comment. I could go on forever right now. Okay, I got to go. Let's do it again soon. I love you.
Nice to see you, brother.
Thank you
I'm sending my love to everybody. Yes. Thank you for being here.
You take care.
See you again soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye. See you later. Bye-bye. We'll be back in